what? There used to be a bookstore here. It's gone. And everything is do not enter. And all of the food court is gone. Everything is gone. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Sad. Lots of memories. So when I first started driving, I would come across these trailers once in a while and I would bust out laughing. I know it's a name in Punjabi. It's just funny because in terms of the differences in language, one word means something completely different in another language. And in Korean, this means fart, pangu. Just like the popular pastry and bakery brand Bimbo means something completely different in America. So they sent me here on my first run to Phoenix and I stopped at Viva Villa River Casino here in Phoenix, and the sun is going down. It's 105 degrees, mid-September evening, and going for a walk right now because I ate too much dinner. They had a $35 Thursday night prime rib special here with salad and dessert, and when I was done eating, I realized I ate everything and my stomach is about to explode. So I'm going to be walking around this lot for a while and try to burn it off, try to get in some exercise. I've been sitting in the truck all day, So it's Friday morning here in the south part of Phoenix, and I was enjoying some incredible scenery here. Beautiful sunrise. I was headed towards my delivery, and then I was going to have a pickup and head over to Southern California. I got a warning saying that there is a storm watch for Phoenix. Actually, it was the west side of Phoenix from Buckeye to towards Avondale and Scottsdale. The storm was going to move northeast, and it was going to dump heavy rain for a period of about 15 to 20 minutes, I think. And what I did was I planned it so that I arrived in those areas after the rain had passed. I looked on another website, and they were saying that there was a flash flood warning and a storm warning for several hours. And I thought to myself, you know what, if it gets bad, I'll just pull over and stop somewhere. And I went into the storm, but it was the tail end of the storm. So they were saying it was going to be penny-sized hail, and I didn't get any hail, but I got a lot of rain, as you can see. And after about 20, 30 minutes of driving in this, cleared up, had beautiful scenes afterwards, so it wasn't too bad. If the storm would have gotten worse, I would have pulled over and stopped. But I went ahead and looked forward, and the skies were pretty clear in the distance. So I thought to myself, you know what, this storm has already passed, and I'm going to go ahead and be in the clear soon. So I proceeded to drive. What's going on, my people? So I am decked out in my LAFC gear, getting heavily into MLS. With Sonny moving over to LA, just shifted my attention from the Premier League to MLS. And I didn't think I was going to enjoy it that much, but I'm actually enjoying it a lot more than the Premier League. It's been very thought and time consuming. When you drive, you have a lot of time to think about stuff. I've been paying a lot of attention to MLS and Sonny and Buanga. Anyway, and then I try to stop and watch the soccer matches on Apple TV and whatnot. I had to get a subscription for that too. So I'm kind of addicted. So everybody has their vice, and LAFC is becoming my vice right now. So, but anyway, just wanted to recap on this week. Almost, I think about 2340, something like that, 2,300 plus miles this week. 2 round trips to the Phoenix area and back, and then 1 round trip to NorCal and back. They did, however, squeeze in a local load for me, which kind of threw me off kilter a little bit, but it's all right. The company needed it. I did it. No sweat off my back, just making it work. Yeah, I just wanted to talk also about our perspectives and how when we do a good job or when we do an important or vital job for a organization, there is the threat of becoming very myopic. Now, okay, so it sounds kind of crazy. So let me explain that. So in previous organizations that I ran or I worked for, we had different roles. And everybody kicked butt in those roles. But one of the dangers of that is while you're doing so well, you feel like you're the vital cog, you're the vital piece of the puzzle. And sometimes you feel like this whole organization will crumble without you. When I did manufacturing, some of these manufacturing people are like great, talented geniuses, knowing how to put things together. And anyway, if it wasn't for the products that they manufactured, would the company be in business? I work with some really good salespeople, and these salespeople would go out and they could sell ice Eskimos, they're really good. And they would feel like, if it wasn't for me, you guys wouldn't have this kind of revenue. And then you had the office people that kept everything together, pretty much the spine of the company. We're talking about payroll, just receivables, and they have to sit there working from A to Z, all the clerical things and all the things in the background. They don't get the accolades, but without them, they know that the company wouldn't function. The salespeople wouldn't get paid. The manufacturing products would not be made because they couldn't get orders put in properly. Just a whole slew of things. Anyway, the reason why I'm sharing this is in each of those positions, everybody feels like because they're giving their best efforts and because in return they are getting somewhat acknowledged and people know, at least their direct managers know how valuable they are to that portion of that operation. Over time, it's human tendency for us to start getting a big head. And I think the opposite of that is, you're just a doormat and you're just a slave to your job and you're just doing whatever you can and you get taken advantage of. But more often than not, people's heads just swell. It's just human nature. I've been there a lot of times, and you start not appreciating where you're at because you're good and you feel like you're not being compensated properly, or you feel like you're not being recognized properly, or you feel like you're not being respected. And when those things kind of line up, you may end up leaving, or you may end up causing drama faster than you should. And so what I'm saying is that a lot of times in these positions, you need to make sure you can take a couple steps back and just reassess everything properly. Know when it's the time to assert yourself and don't over assert yourself. And also, have the right attitude, because if you don't have the right attitude, you're going to go into work, you're going to feel miserable because, you're good at your job. Those people that are so good at their job, they come into work with kind of like a little bit of a pissy face and, they're arrogant, but they get things done really fast, but they're kind of unpleasant to deal with. That's what a lot of people become, because they get full of themselves. Yeah, you're good at your job, but you know what? Practice some humility. This is a thing too, is when you practice humility, it doesn't mean you're being weak. It means you're deliberately choosing to be humble as a sign of strength because you have the capacity to be humble. You're not fragile and one little thing will make you crumble. So it is a sign of strength. And that's why I think it's important not to lose focus of reality while we work, especially when we get good at our job. Now, in terms of trucking, we truckers have all the time in the world to think while we drive. We've got hours of on-the-road time where we're thinking. Sometimes our thought process will spiral if you hone into one thought and keep mulling it over and over and over. And so we have to be careful. We're not going down slippery slopes in our mind, where we're doing a great job driving and we feel like the company is not recognizing us, they're not respecting us, they're not taking care of us, we're not getting compensated right, Reactions to those kind of thoughts and feelings will probably end up in regret later. So what I'm saying is, out of strength, not out of weakness, out of strength and not out of reaction, when it's time, make assessments of how your work is treating you and if you're at the right place. And if you can find something better, it's time to move. But if you're doing a great job, but maybe they're not respecting you or they're not paying you well, still you have to think about it. Is this the best place for this season of life? Or is this somewhere you should be right now? If it isn't, time to change gears. So anyway, I wanted to share that because a lot of times when we're on the road, we do a lot of thinking and sometimes we feel like we're getting the short end of the stick while we're kicking butt for the company. So it's like that, not just in trucking, it's like that in every position almost in America, whatever company you're working for. Even in relationships, it's like that, This feeling of not being appreciated or feeling of not being recognized is probably prevalent in a lot of people. And this is probably the triggers for the reasons why we don't live at our best or we don't have the best attitudes. So we have to make sure that we don't have stinking thinking. We have to have a clear mind and really just do the right thing as much as we can. Have a fair assessment of what's going on and where our lives are at. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. Yeah, other than that, this week was pretty much smooth sailing. So a lot of crazy weather, as you could see in the video. Overall, it was a good week. Thank you for following me on this journey. God bless all of you. If you're a driver out there, stay safe. Peace. And until next time, cheers.